Ready to get this bread. Episode 24 started soon. I'm gonna give y'all a quick song. Lambo Wrist, 2 Chainz off his what's that damn album called? I don't know. This is his newest album. There you go, champ. There you go.
That's what you're seeing now.
Yeah, there you go. Welcome back to the Nothing Less podcast. This is Alexis and that's Dave. We are your hosts. This is episode 24 of a wild week. This is Friday afternoon. I think, man, this week has gone by quick. I fucking went on vacation for 3 days and it's already Friday. Next week is Christmas. The other week is New Year's. Now we're in 2021.
Yeah.
How are you feeling of all that, Dave?
Christmas shopping is wild, dude. And then now, like, whoa, this weekend it's about to get hectic, dude. That last minute shopping. All the roads are gonna be all fucking full, man. But we out here, you know.
What have you gotten?
I can't.
Oh, you can't say.
Yeah.
Oh, we have listeners. I was trying to get you on. I want to see if you're gonna say it. I want to see if you're gonna just spill the beans. Yeah. Me and my babes, we went shopping. We got everything we needed for the people that we got. Gift exchange. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. And we're going into this week feeling pretty good about ourselves. We just need to wrap the things, honestly.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean. Work seems like it's gonna be slow these next few days, so I can't be too mad at that. And there's gonna be a lot of sports to watch since mostly all the sports are back. Preseason basketball is back. We got the NFL at its almost at the end point. We got the UFC putting on their last show, and we have a lot to talk about. Dave, how was your day? How are we feeling, man? How are we feeling?
It was a rough morning, dude. Like I said, well, I'm gonna give you guys some insight. So for the longest time, we've been trying to set this up, like having recorded sessions and stuff. But yeah, I've been trying to get a cord for my mic, and they don't sell them here. They don't sell them here where we stay at. So I had to order online and stuff, and it was a big hectic stuff. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, I was trying to get that done this morning, but I had to order my stuff, and yeah, I don't know. This morning's been kind of busy, and it's kind of like freaking, I don't know how to explain it, like busy and sleepy, dude. 'Cause I only got like 3 hours of sleep, but that's my fault. That's my fault for being like.
Tell them the grind that you've been putting in on that Cold War. Let them know, man.
Yeah, man. I've been grinding in Cold War, So yeah, I've been thinking about streaming too, but I mean, nah, I don't want to. You know, that's kind of hectic too. Or no, maybe we'll see it.
Why not? Why? I mean, it's not that hard.
It's not hard. Like it's super easy to do it, but I just don't want to do it. But now, yeah, I mean, if you guys want to, hear me talk and hear me talk shit, like, dude. Yeah, I remember one time I had streamed because I've streamed before. And I got drunk one time, and I just started streaming. So, and I Twitch it allows you to play back your stream. I was watching it, I was just cracking the fuck up, dude. Like, drunk David and sober David are 2 different people. Yeah, 2 different beasts. Are you the same animal?
Fuck no.
Different beasts.
That's a very deep question. For me, when I streamed, it was okay. It wasn't too wild. I just played a couple college football games. Pretty much that's it. And streamed and played Red Dead. Nothing wild.
Yeah.
I don't think I've streamed drunk. I don't think I've done that, but I'm sure it would be a blast. Like if I was playing with friends.
Yeah.
And my friends are pretty much just telling me like, "Hey man, come back to the Xbox." And I was like, "There's nothing for me there. Not right now. I'll come back to it, but not right now." And he's like, "Just get an Xbox One." I was like, "I sold it for a reason." You know. So right now you'll only catch me playing Dynasty mode on old NCAA games because it's
Shout out to Kentucky.
Yeah, shout out to the Wildcats. We're making it happen. And yeah, I mean it's fun. It really helps me chill out after like a fucking work week that's downright miserable at times because it's so boring or things are not going your way. But just playing old school games to me it gives me such a nostalgic feel. Yeah. And you kind of relive the feel that you had when you first played them back in the day, and I just touching a brick of a fucking Xbox controller just is nuts.
It's a wild feeling.
Yeah, man.
Nah, I had what is it called? I've been wanting to get back to because I owned a PlayStation 2, so like an Xbox, original Xbox. It's kind of weird for me. I don't know. It's a weird feeling, but I actually like it. It's built for my hands, and it's weird because I think I have like small hands. For a male, at least.
Well, look at mine. My shit's small as fuck. I got fucking whopper hands, man.
That's commercial, right?
Yeah, and I like the pause all the way, right? I like the way it feels. It feels really thick, and then it's really meant for an adult. I guess that would be the best way to put it on the Xbox.
Yeah, I like the way how it. And then now like I go back to the PlayStation controller, and I could just like squeeze it. Like I don't know, I could clap my hands together, and it would still be like. I don't know. There'll still be room inside that little hole that I fucking made with my hands.
Oh damn! What are you talking about? That shit went another way.
No, like it's weird. Like you get it right. You have a grip like this, and then you could like put your fingers together like that, and it will still be like I don't know, like because you wouldn't be able to connect your fingers with the Xbox controller.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But back to whatever, right? Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the life. And I mean before the whole pandemic shit, I mean Dave would come over and the buds would come over and we'd play some Xbox, So it has some good games. It's not like it's old and it sucks. It's not like that.
We even went back to GameCube, son.
GameCube.
The Madden 01. What was it, Madden 01? 02?
It might have been like 02 or 03 with Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
03. But with that being said, my week was cool. Went to ConCan, was pretty cool. Very relaxing. I saw a lot of deers. I saw a javelin. It was cool. Yeah.
And you're recording, right?
I recorded a lot of footage, and
I want to see those vlogs. I want to see how this came out.
Yeah.
They look lit. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean I pretty much shot it on my phone, so it's 4K supposedly, right? And it looks good. I hope to put it out maybe during the weekend. Maybe have this out as well. If not, we'll see when that goes. Yeah. But we had a good time. I needed a getaway with the kind of year me and my fam have had, so it's kind of like very helpful, mindful, and I don't know, just chill.
Well, if anybody needs a vacation, it's you.
Fuck all that noise.
Fuck all that noise. Fuck all that sentimental shit.
We get into everything. Okay. So week 14 it was here and then it left, and we put out some predictions for it. Obviously, we didn't get to cover the games. We just mentioned why. Dave's been grinding on Cold War, and I've been relaxing in a cabin. Yeah. But week 14, for what it was worth, I guess in short words, in like 2 to 3 words, I think it was a blowout type of week. There's a lot of blowouts. Nothing really to be said as far as that. But the best way we'll try to input our week 14 analysis is with the week 15 matchups. Just to maybe give you a little insight of what we thought of the teams from last week in their current state. Dave, did you see anything in week 14 that stood out that maybe is a cause for concern, or even maybe positive interest in that team or in those players?
The one thing I did catch from week 14 was the NFC East, man. You know, a lot of people say they're a one seed. I mean, a one seed, a one round and then done type of teams. But I think this week they proved that they could really hold their own. I mean, granted, the Eagles. Let's go Eagles Saints. The Eagles did win, and the Saints were coming back towards the end of the game, but I I caught a lot of things from that. I think the Eagles are starting to come alive again, and especially with that new guy, Jalen Hurts. We've all said it. Well, I remember saying it like week 6 that they should already put in Jalen Hurts. It's obvious that Carson Wentz is not doing it for you right now, at least. So I would like to see how that's gonna go down. But then again, we on the other hand we have the Washington football team, complete dog of a team. Um, when everybody started, oh, originally I remember you had them going to or no we had the Cowboys winning the division week 1 before all this like before everybody was getting hurt before all that stuff. But Washington football team, they're proving that they're still here. And I mean Alex Smith, he's ruled out next week, so it'll be Dwayne Haskins coming in to play. But I mean that's still a dog of a team. That defense is a force to be reckoned with. Um, they still have Antonio Gibson. Is he still out? Still out.
I think he's coming in. I'm not sure. I need to double check on the depth chart for that, but yeah, I think he's gonna play this week. Yeah, I mean we like the true listeners have heard us. We've mentioned the Washington football team, though we didn't pick them to win the division because not a lot of people did. That's
Yeah.
kinda,
Well, I mean that was kind of a thing because we thought the Cowboys were gonna run that division due to like their depth chart at the time before everything started. I believe everybody had the Cowboys winning that division, either the Cowboys or the Eagles. But then things don't work out perfectly. So so yeah, I mean, but still we knew Washington had a top 5 defense even from the start, but it was just the main question was can their offense be there? Can their offense win them games? I mean, the defense could. I believe they racked up 2 defensive touchdowns last game, right? Yeah, 2 defensive touchdowns. I mean, they carried that game, but still, man, like, um, if the offense, it's gonna be a lot more tough now that Alex Smith is out, and you will have to have Dwayne Haskins there. But I mean, I believe they could get it done, and I have them right now. I have them winning the division.
well, with that being said, I mean we could really go into that game. We picked, or at least I picked, games where it makes sense as far as to analyze these games because there's importance to these teams. If you look at maybe for example, I picked that Seahawks versus the Washington football team, and I think the reason is because Washington still hasn't secured the division. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at Seattle. Seattle's been a wobbly defensive team, and even offensively in these past few weeks, they've been inconsistent. So I think this is where Dave's point really lies. Is the fact is Washington could look legit going into the playoffs if they get a big victory against the Seahawks, I should say. When you look at these teams, honestly, like the league rankings are not going to do them justice. I feel like the last few weeks, the Washington football team has been doing pretty good, solid, moving the ball over the air. You got they're 30th ranked on offense, and again, I just don't think it does enough justice. I think Terry McLaurin is a dog. I think you look at Logan Thomas, former quarterback of Virginia Tech. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah.
he's a chunky man now. Antonio Gibson, and I'm missing another receiver. I know they have a pretty decent receiver. Sims, I think it's Sims, something Sims.
Sims. Oh my goodness.
But they have a pretty young core, and they're all pretty speedy, and they all get the ball. And they're all good catchers, honestly. Like they don't really drop balls. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah. It's more of the quarterback play that always messes them up, which would be kind of like when they had what's his name, Will Allen. I think it's Will Allen, Dwayne Haskins, and Alex Smith, right? Yeah. Those were the 3 quarterbacks. Dwayne Haskins played sloppy. They brought in Will Allen. Will Allen broke his ankle. They brought in Alex.
Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
Will Allen is the guy from West Virginia. I think he
Yeah.
just got drafted. Yeah, Kyle Allen, former Panther. Yeah, this is inconsistent ball, and then Alex Smith comes in and pretty much does everything that Alex Smith to do, which is if you saw him play in Kansas City and just manage the game, give him enough chances to win the game, and that's kind of why you see like a flourish of Antonio Gibson. You know, just pound the rock, pound the rock, pound the rock, and you saw that. I think it was in the Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. We mentioned the defense of Seattle has been horrendous. Everyone knows that. The only person that really scares anyone is Jamal Adams and obviously Bobby Wagner for attacking machine. But they've been getting smoked through the secondary, the only good thing I think I see from them is their front four has been playing pretty decent. But for some reason, their run defense is terrible. When I ask you what's going to be the biggest X factor going into this game that could win that game, what do you think it's going to be? What's the biggest X factor?
So, as you said, that secondary is terrible, but I mean this is a weird stat, but that Seattle Seahawks secondary hasn't allowed a touchdown from a wide receiver in the last 9 weeks. But that's kind of, I mean, they've been getting smoked by passing yards, but they haven't allowed a touchdown yet. It's a weird thing, but they haven't allowed a touchdown yet, but they've been getting smoked on their passing and the allowance of passing yards. But I think with Dwayne Haskins coming back, and Dwayne Haskins, he's not a good quarterback where he spreads out the ball like Alex Smith. I think he's gonna go. He's gonna rely on his big playmakers like Terry McLaurin, as we previously said, and People's Champ, right? Or who's the other guy?
This is why,
right? Like we usually have like stuff.
I got you,
guys, but
I got you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But he will rely on his big time receivers more often than not, and his run game. So I see Terry McLaurin actually having a good game this one, like a big game for him, because when you saw Dwayne Haskins, I think his last start was against the Cardinals, right? Cardinals? No, I think it was like 2 more weeks after that.
It had been a man.
Yeah. But when they had faced the Cardinals, you saw that he was relying on Terry McLaurin. He doesn't really spread out the ball as much, but when he throws the ball, he's throwing to his main guys. So, but I don't know if it's enough to trample over the Seahawks. I mean, it's on paper. I mean, you ask anybody and you say like, oh, Seahawks, by 30, whatever. Especially with Alex Smith out. But I mean, this is gonna be a dogfight game. I'm not expecting a blowout, especially how that defense of Washington has been playing. I think it's gonna be close game. Man, I don't want to go against the odds, but I will do it. Washington football team. I think they take it. I think it's gonna be a tough fought game. That expect a lot of sacks, especially from the Washington football side. As my partner here said, that front seven of Seattle is crazy too. They're no joke either. So expect a lot of sacks. It'll be a crazy defensive game, but expect big plays. But I have watched.
I think when we look at it, there's, like we mentioned before, the consistency that Seattle plays sometimes is, sometimes their offense doesn't show up, and I mean more of the running game, because if you look at the numbers, the numbers say that they're like a top 15 rushing team, but I think it's a little what's the word? It's not proper, I feel. Yeah, see, like they're the 12th best rushing offense in the league. Chris Carson's been out, and then you have all the other running backs that haven't done jack. And I think it's more of the Russell Wilson rush yards that really stand out for that. Um, when you look at Washington, I feel like their pass rush is elite. Everyone knows that. They have Montez Sweat, Chase Young, their DT. What's his name? He's a I don't know. I know he has like at least 7 or 8 sacks as a defensive tackle, and the linebackers are pretty good. Their corners are solid enough to hold it down.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Kendall Fuller transition
Hold down
from
the fort.
Kendall Fuller transition from corner to safety, and he's been playing pretty good ball. I think they're gonna cause a lot of issues for a Seattle O line that doesn't have enough depth or even talent to withstand all this pass rush. That's a game that I put on this because it looks scary for the Seahawks. Because think about it, if they lose, they're 9-5, and in some cases, most of these teams are, just trying to get the highest seed. I mean, the number one seed is the one that's gonna get the bye week. If they win, they go 10-4. They hope New Orleans loses here, and a lot of teams lose there, and they put themselves in position to get that bye. But if they lose again, maybe the 6th or 7th seed. Well, it all depends on how the Rams do. But
Yeah.
I got the Washington football team winning a little barn burner of under 25 points each. So
25 points
yeah,
each.
it's gonna be like 21 to 25 Washington. But yeah, just a key stat for everyone. I mean, Russell Wilson before his last games against Washington, he's averaged close to 90 yards rushing against them. He's only played them 3 times, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, the pass rush for Washington is ferocious and elite. They're one of three teams that have 4 players with 5+ sacks this season. So that's crazy, and it's a testament of how this team likes to play with Ron Rivera. But as I mentioned, Ron Rivera, you got he was a former he played with he coached the Panthers, and he played a lot of the Seahawks in the playoffs in the mid 2010s. I guess is that what you say? He's pretty much lost his eight matchups against Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's 6-8 against him.
So he's like, oh damn.
Yeah.
damn.
So it's something to keep an eye on there. I mean, it doesn't really do much, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Yeah. So it's gonna be a good match, and a lot of people know the 2019 draft to be one of the better drafts of all time as far as for talent is concerned and even depth. You look at DK Metcalf, he was taken 9th, and the guy's had a pretty good 2 seasons. I mean, 206 targets, he's caught 127. He has 2,080 yards and 17 touchdowns. And you match out with Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, with he was taken 12th wide receiver in that draft. 207 targets, 131 receptions, 1,920 yards, 10 touchdowns. However you slice it, these guys are both elite wide receivers. Next year fantasy, if you didn't pick them up, pick them up.
Yeah.
The guys are studs, and the best thing you could say is DK Metcalf is becoming an elite receiver that wants to learn how to route run, and he's looking like it. With Terry McLaurin, he's underrated coming out of Penn State, but the guy's a problem in the team that no one thought was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add to this game, Dave? What do you think?
No, I'm pretty sure we covered it pretty well. We have, two. They're similar in the way that they're built. Run first, pass second, but you have playmakers that could make plays after the catch as well as while they're route running and they're catching. But man, it's gonna be a barn burner. Can't wait. I think I'll go with you, but I'll probably do 24-20 Washington.
Alright.
That's what I'll do.
Yeah, and you look at these games because this week is obviously one of those special weeks that the NFL has, because you have a Thursday night game that just happened, which we'll talk about as well. They're gonna have 2 Saturday games going on, and we'll talk about one of them. And you have the Sunday games, and then you have the Monday night games. So it's a lot of football for the next 4 days, or next 4 out of the 5 days. And then we're not even including college football, which college football is already gonna have their championship games.
Yeah,
This is championship week, so it's gonna be fun. I mean, we could even talk about those if you know about the college football life. But
well, I'll add something real quick. This is not related at all. But for those of you that are watching, because we're recording this, video recording this, look how skinny my legs are. Skinny as hell.
Looks terrible. Nah, you look like an MMA fighter, bro.
I'm gonna start wearing pants to the show.
That's why I always wear pants. Or I wear sweats.
Yeah, see this chicken legs no more. That's all. That's about it. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be something wild, like you know.
Yeah. Legs be skinny as fuck. Skinny as hell.
Are you sad?
Yeah, I'm pretty sad.
I'll zoom in on the camera so they don't so they don't see it. Or so you don't see it, so you don't get all emotional about it. Yeah, I have skinny legs too. That's why I wear these things. I look like I'm wearing like Jenko jeans or something.
People won't make fun of you on the internet.
Oh no, shit. I hope not. But with that being said, obviously, week 15 just started. You had the Chargers against the Raiders. It was supposed to be the battle versus Justin Herbert and Derek Carr, but it turned to the battle of former Oregon quarterbacks, Marcus Mariota versus Justin Herbert. I guess the best way to put it, the Raiders needed the game. They needed the dub, and they dropped it against a team that is promised to be good next year, like they are every year.
Yeah.
And they almost let it slip, like they've had in the past few games, or most of the season, honestly. But the Chargers won 30-27 in overtime. The Chargers are now 5-9. The Raiders are now 7-7. And Dave, you want to break this game down a little bit? Let them know what's up.
Yeah. I think. Oh man, that game was. Like I was telling Lex off air. I think that game was wild. Not because of the way how it ended, as we all know how it ended. It's crazy ending. But before that, I didn't know that Marcus Mariota could do that. I mean, I thought as soon as Derek Carr was ruled out, I was like, you know what, that's it. Like it's a wrap. It's over. Like, and if you're a loyal fan of the podcast, I've been a Justin Herbert fan ever since he played in Cincinnati. Ever since he played in not Cincinnati, Kansas City, on that a big overtime thriller. Of course, he lost, but I saw something, and you know he's gonna be a future quarterback, a great future quarterback. But hopefully he doesn't turn out to be a bust, and I don't sound stupid. But yeah.
Who'd you say?
Justin Herbert.
Did you say Kansas City?
Yeah, no, because I remember when he played against
overtime.
That's why I was like overtime thriller. Yeah.
And I was like,
I was
like, when the fuck did he play in Kansas City? But
nah, but yeah, I think yeah, that game was wild. I thought it was over, but Marcus Mariota, showed old Marcus Mariota, and yeah. I don't know what else to add to that. Kind of got stuck here for a bit, but yeah. Let's just put out quick stats.
I got you, champ. Okay, so the way I saw the game was, the Raiders had a pretty good a mindset of running the ball and all that stuff. But the Chargers weren't having it. The Chargers were playing the ball pretty good. Justin Herbert threw for 22 and 32, 314 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown, which was the game winner in overtime. Austin Eckler, he had a decent game, nothing too crazy. 13 rushes, 60 yards. Jalen Guyton, he had the key reception in the overtime. He got a 53-yarder. And it was a great ball under pressure, honestly. Hunter Henry had a touchdown early in I think it was in the half. I don't remember if it was in the second quarter or the first. But I mean, he was spreading the ball around, nothing too wild from that end. Honestly, the Chargers looked good, and you look at this team and they have a lot of weapons. You know, I mean, to think, watch, they're one of their key acquisitions was Chris Harris, and you haven't heard anyone talk about Chris Harris this year. But Chris Harris, he caught he got a pick in the fourth quarter. It was a great play, set him up to win, and obviously they didn't win. So, the Honey Badger, yeah. What's he call him? The Money Badger? What's he? Michael Badgley, the kicker.
Is he really called Money Badger?
Something like that. Something wild. But he was inconsistent. He missed 2 field goals that could have won him the game in separate occasions or made it a little more interesting for the Raiders. And obviously that didn't happen. As you look at Mariota, I mean, his stint in Tennessee was up and down. You know, obviously he got switched out for Tannehill. And he made his way to Las Vegas. And a lot of people were surprised because he was obviously a former starter. And why would they have him as a backup? But a lot of people, if they never saw Gruden's QB camp, John Gruden really liked Mariota. So with that being said, he had a pretty good game. Honestly, 17 to 28, 226, 1 touchdown and a pick. A really bad pick, I should say.
Yeah. That's
but
bad.
Other than that, 9 rushes for 88 yards and a touchdown. He played pretty good ball, kept them in the game, almost won them the game. But you look at this and you look at also the offense. The offense wasn't a problem. Mm-hmm. The offense was not a problem. It was more the defense is just horrendous. It's been their issue all year. Everyone knows that, and it's kind of the same conversation we have with Seattle. You know, the offense could do so much, but the defense is gonna keep other teams in the game, mm-hmm. and you're gonna tire out. You know, maybe I don't know. The pedal is not gonna work anymore. You can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what it seems like to me, because at the end, you think 27 points is well. I mean, in the modern NFL, who knows at this point? But you know, Darren Waller, 9 receptions, 150 yards, and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs, 26 attempts, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. A decent game for Jacobs, but a monster game from Waller. Nelson Aguilar, their key player that they picked up, that we all thought was trash. I bet he knows that. Has had a good year. 4 for 49 yards. It's like they only gave up 402 yards, like in total. Yeah. But they gave up 4 key defensive penalties. Mm-hmm. When they needed to shut it down, they couldn't. And really, that's their Achilles heel. Everyone knows that their cornerbacks are banged up, and their cornerbacks for some reason just don't know how to cover. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. I mean, I know it's easy for me to say that, but the thing is, you look at them week by week and they're just doing some dumb plays or some just like head scratching plays. What did you think about like the last? Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think about the overtime, like, and how it went for both teams? Because I know the Raiders had won the toss.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything.
No, of course, they won. They couldn't do anything with the ball, and they what is it called? Oh my god, they punted it off. Jesus Christ, I don't know why, but they punted it off, and even then, I thought at some instances, I thought the Raiders defense did just enough where they could get the ball back, but you know, last minute effort, but on third downs were very crucial for that Raiders defense. I think the Chargers really showed on what type of team they can be. Like you said in the beginning, of the breakdown, they're always that team where you could see so much potential in them, but it's every year we're like, oh, well, next year they're pretty good. But here it showed off like how good of a team they are offensively, and it really came down to those third downs, as you saw, like they drifted down all the way down the field, and you know, money badge. And Austin Eckler really came through in that OT. So
yeah, and obviously Justin Herbert with the leap over in the goal line to win the game, and you just hear, "I made it, I got in, I made it." Yeah, so I mean, You needed this game for if you're a Raiders fan, but you understand this happened last year.
I mean, we said it. We said it. Last. We said it. Last podcast where, it's this game was a make or break it for them, and well, they didn't make it.
Yeah, I mean, John Gruden's getting paid X amount of money. It's like 10 million a year, something crazy, and he hasn't proven to be a coach, I guess, worth that value or worth that contract. But I know obviously you can't cut him. That's a lot of money you got to pay out. This team has so much potential, and it just doesn't fulfill its potential at any point. Derek Carr looks like he's gonna be shipped out. It seems like next year. I think they're gonna have a new quarterback. If it's Mariota, if it's someone else, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. Yeah, I mean that was a game, and we go into the Chargers, I guess, for their end, and the Chargers have a great future, and they look great. I mean, Justin Herbert literally has the most games with 300 plus yards with 7. He surpassed Andrew Luck. It's baffling how they've just been a 5-9 team, to me at least. And then you look at the Raiders. We've been talking about the crap of a defense that they have. 30 plus points in 9 games this season.
Oh shit!
Most in the league. And yeah, so it's a crazy thing. But I guess if you want to,
they're most in the league.
Yeah, they've been giving up. Yeah. And Darren Waller, 4th tight end, the Super Bowl era, with 150 reception yards in 2 games in a single season. Would you guess who the other 3 are?
I believe I know Shannon Sharp is in there somewhere. Tony? No, Tony's not in there.
No, sir.
Antonio Gates? No.
No.
Well, you said what would you say? Super Bowl.
Super Bowl era.
Oh, Super Bowl era. I was like, and shit, I don't know. I just know Shannon Sharp.
Kellen Winslow and I forget the first name. Christensen is the tight end. I just forgot his dang first name. Yeah. That was week 15 Thursday night football. Did you notice that the Chargers are always like the last Thursday night? When they clinched their playoff spot a couple years ago, there were no Thursday night game against the Chiefs. I think where I'm more than positive they always close out Thursday night football. It's kind of like the first game Thursday night is Jacksonville most of the time.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they do it on purpose or something.
No, I think it's more like a ratings type of thing. Cause like, how like they always give like the lower rating teams Thursday night football, like the Jets, Browns, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
I think that's what it has to do with it. Oh, I just think it's like the fan base. You know how like that's like that joke that the Chargers don't have any fans and shit.
That's without a fucking doubt.
Yeah,
they don't have fans. I'm pretty
sure that has something to do with it.
Like how many people have you met that are Chargers fans? And before you answer that, how many fans have you ever seen in their stadium? It's a real thing, bro. I mean, when they're on the home team, they're the road team, and then they're on the road team, they're a road team.
That's tough. They should never moved out of San Diego.
I love that stadium too. Qualcomm Stadium. I loved it. It was super nice.
And they would have busted out those new jerseys in San Diego. I think it would everybody would be hyped. You know what I mean?
I feel you. Well, we're gonna bust into a new game. Sorry. We're trying my best here. Buffalo 10-3.
Yeah.
Going into a very dangerous game, I think, against Denver. It's a 3:30 game, so a lot of people are gonna get to watch that one. It's a Saturday afternoon game. It's the key thing. So a lot of people are gonna have eyes on this game. When you think about the Bills in the last few weeks, I would say maybe the last month and a half, they've been playing out of their mind. Josh Allen's been playing consistent ball. Then, him and Stephon Diggs are just syncing up to the highest of levels. They're looking like an unstoppable duo. And if they could get anything else going with their wide receivers, I think that offense is going to be elite. With that being said, obviously their passing offense is fourth in the league, so that's pretty good. Their rushing offense, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You got what's his name? Devin Singletary and
Devin Singletary and David. Oh no.
What
Oh
is
my
his
God.
name, man? Oh, Zach Moss. Yeah, no, it's not Zach
No,
Moss.
Zach Moss is the linebacker, bro.
Is it Zach? No.
Zach Moss is the linebacker.
Well, I think it's Moss. No, don't they have a running back?
I know they have a Moss, but I don't think it's Zach Moss.
Moss it is. But yeah, the Bills have been pretty good on offense. They're almost top 10 with 11th ranked. Their defense has been getting better. But where I think lies in all this is their rush defense is bad. And the Broncos have a pretty good 1-2 punch with Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay. I think that would be a good cause them a lot of issues. And Drew Lock played good last week. I mean, he's been playing inconsistent most of the year, but it is what it is, man. I mean, you're not gonna make the playoffs, but damn sure you'd want to end with like an 8-8 record. How do you think this one plays out, Dave?
I think, I mean, first things first, I think that Broncos secondary is pretty damn good. I mean, it's matched up perfectly against the Bills. As you said, Stephon Diggs is having he found a resurgence in that Bills offense. As long as with Cole Beasley, you got your guy that is very well against man, especially off of press. And he's there more for like your short routes. But man, they got dogs in that secondary, and I think it's gonna be a test for Josh Allen. It's gonna be a test for him. Not necessarily the pass rush, but just that secondary. I mean,
that pass rush is good too.
Yeah, it's pretty good, but I don't think it's a lot better than its secondary. I think the secondary just kind of falls over the pass rush.
Yeah, because I mean the pass rush is pretty much injured all around. They're playing with backups here and there. Talking about the secondary, I really love Justin Simmons, their safety.
Yeah.
Is it just right?
Yeah.
He's good, man. Him and what's his name? The guy from Cincinnati, Bates. I think it's Bates. Jesse Bates. I think it's something like that. Their safety. Those two safeties are 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Would recommend.
Highly.
But yeah, I mean, Josh Allen against teams like that you talk about, pass defense that are top 10, 5-0. What do you say to that?
He's 5-0 against
top 10 secondaries.
Wow. That is that. That's
slapped in the face.
No, yeah. But yeah, I mean, if he could prove it again, I mean, like with this, it's gonna be a wild game. No wonder it's in that 3 p.m. slot on a Saturday. Don't forget, guys, it's a Saturday, because you know what I mean, like
You sound like a fucking teacher,
right? Sorry, my teacher voice came out.
I know. Sorry.
Your homework's due, by the way.
Don't forget.
Yo, it's a Saturday, yo. Nah, but yeah, 5-0 against top 10 secondaries. I mean, you could prove it again, I think.
But I got you on this. There's another one.
Okay.
But the Broncos have only allowed 16 passing touchdowns this season. That's tied for second fewest in the league.
Talk about unstoppable force, meeting an unmovable object.
Huh? It's nuts, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I really like this matchup. This matchup makes sense for me as far as like one to watch, because a lot of people are already putting Buffalo Bills as the Bills Mafia is holding down.
Yeah.
They've been consistent this year. They've only lost to pretty good teams. I mean, Kansas City, Tennessee, and who am I missing? Who's the third team? Baltimore? No, they didn't lose to Baltimore, right?
No, they did not.
They've lost to pretty good teams. Most of those teams are going to be in the playoffs, if not all. And this game it's more of those to me, it's kind of like equivalent to like a wild card match. You know, you look at these teams and they look, you know, what's the word, man? The Bills are Goliath, and the Broncos are David. But you still give David a little bit of shot because you know it's the heart, you know. And the Broncos all year they've been showing heart. Their defense and their offense is just demolished with injuries. You know, ACL tears all around, which sucks because this team is talented as well. It's kind of like the Chargers. That's why I thought the AFC West was going to be better than than it is right now. But the Bills are in for a game because usually around this time in December in Denver, it's going to be cold, it's going to be snowing, or it's going to be raining, and it's going to be just a wet game. Pause, right? But here's a little thing for y'all. I mean, they're 6-1 in the last 7 weeks, the Bills are. The only game they lost was the Hail Mary. And to think, that game was crucial for them they needed to win that game, and they didn't. But they've just strung. Oh, how do you put they grouped some wins together, and now they're looking like maybe a perennial top team in the league in the AFC. They might even get a bye. It all depends on just the Chiefs losing, Steelers losing, all that jazz. But just side note, I mean, look at the Bills, 6-1 after Hail Mary. Look at the Cardinals after.
I know.
And we love the Cardinals, but god damn.
I know we were rooting for them, right?
Yeah, we were
like, please do good.
We were dick riding. Don't worry. Yeah. I only picked these games. I mean, they're not for the, I guess, the normal person. You're gonna be like, what is it? Like, why would you pick these games? There's higher, I guess, win-loss teams going up against each other, but you need to understand this is gonna be just playoff settings and the format of how it works and how everyone's gonna be stacked against each other, like as more like the 1 through 7 matchups, like because people are gonna be moved around after this week for sure. There's a lot of games to me though that have that type of feel. When you look at, for example, the Cardinals versus the Eagles, that one as well is one. We're not gonna break that one down, but to me that one's also one of those games where the Eagles could play to fuck shit up, and the Cardinals can miss out on the playoffs. I don't think they're in the playoffs right now, and that could be an issue. The Bucks against the Falcons as well, because the Falcons, we know what they have offensively, and the Bucks secondary has been atrocious as well. So that one also
be able to pull out,
And just to throw another one out, Titans. The Lions have been playing pretty consistent after their firing of Matt Patricia. The Titans are what they are, you know, like they're a well-coached team. Yeah. So I think a lot of people look at the records and they're gonna be, maybe I could live without watching a Sunday here.
Not to mention the Jets versus Rams.
Oh, upset alert! Hey, Sam Darnold. He wants to be a Jet for life. This is his game. That's what he said.
Yeah. Is that what he said?
He wants to be a Jet for life, which is nuts to me. Nah, but
Adam Gates for life.
Nah, he getting fired.
Yeah, he's
the fact that a lot of coaches have gotten fired, a lot of people from, like, I'm talking about like any coach through college football to the NFL to the NBA through fucking anywhere, Adam Gates has survived them all, and this guy has a winless team. that just blows my mind. I didn't put this game, but this one was catching my eye too. The Giants versus the Browns. That one's gonna be a good game. It's a Sunday night game, which is kind of random. I didn't think that would ever be a matchup for.
Back to Sunday night Browns.
Damn. What we got, Dave? We want to break down the Patriots Dolphins. Yeah. You want? All right. You want me to break it down, or you got it?
You want me to get it?
Yeah, you get him. Get him, champ.
Get him. All right, guys.
I'm gonna get some water.
All right, go for it. All right, guys. So we got the Patriots versus the Dolphins. As we know, y'all should have seen Lex, man. He just slid out the room. Something clean. But you know, the Patriots they're ranked. Their offense is ranked 24th against the Dolphins 27th, which I don't think it does. As we all say, you know, league rankings don't really do it justice because I think the Dolphins have found life in their offense due to that young boy Tua. What's it? I can't say his last name. His last name is hard as hell. Tua Tagovailoa. Is that it? Nah, that's not it, right? It's not it. Tagovailoa. I can't say his last name.
That was terrible.
Tua T, baby.
That's why I put Tua T. That's why I put Tua T on the.
Tua T.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
We'll just leave it alone. I don't want to disrespect. And it's gonna be a wild game because a lot of people don't know is that defense, that Patriots defense, well coached against a young striving Dolphins team that is looking for revenge for 10 years of just straight butt whoopings from from the Patriots. And I think it's gonna be a wild matchup. I want to see how Tua really reacts to one of the best cornerbacks in the league, as long as and also a well coached, good chemistry. Honestly, for a team that was really built, I want to say 2 years ago. They their front seven, I believe all of them are like kind of, they're kind of their secondary is from, they've been playing for years together, but I know that their front seven, they've gotten like 4 new guys.
Are we talking about the Patriots?
Yes.
Yeah, man. We were talking about the secondary, right?
No, secondary. I know like the Twins have been there for a while.
J.C. Jackson, man. Did you hear about that one?
What?
That the Patriots want to keep J.C. Jackson a secret because he's a fucking dog.
Yeah, he's making a case for the defensive player of the year.
And a lot of people don't want people are voting for other players, so they don't vote J.C. Jackson into the Pro Bowl.
For real?
Yeah.
That's an actual story?
It's an actual story. Yeah.
And J.C. Jackson, man, I believe he has 9 picks this season.
Yeah, him and Xavier Howard are killing the streets, man. Xavier Howard has 8 picks in total, and he's had that's something to keep an eye on too. Xavier Howard has 8 picks throughout the season, 5 straight picks. Like he has a pick in every game for the last 5 games.
Oof. Well, yeah, it's gonna be a dogfight, and I want to see how they use their run game. The Dolphins do, and me and Lex were talking off air on how the Patriots. I mean, still technically they're in the playoff picture. They're in the hunt technically, but I think, and I believe you could say they're out. I think so, but they're a perfect team to knock teams off their pedestal, knock them off of the playoff picture. And and the Dolphins are looking for revenge, for the past 10 years. So it's gonna be a dogfight of a game, even though on paper, I think it's a great game. I think
it's a divisional matchup.
Yeah,
so
divisional matchup.
It's gonna be a slobber knocker, as JR used to say.
By God.
With the Patriots, you're gonna catch a lot of their defense and offense is gonna be it's gonna be simple, but it's gonna be deceptive at the same time because they run things that you think is the same thing, but then they sprinkle in a little bit of different stuff. But then you got one of the Bill Belichick's tree, one of the branches has branched out with Brian Flores and Miami, an 85 team that is in the playoffs as we speak. But like Dave mentioned, this team that the Patriots have right now, they're currently rolling a little bit. They've been looking a little bit better, so they could knock teams off, and they could start this Sunday. You look at the Dolphins. Last week they played the Chiefs, and I thought that the Dolphins were gonna win, and first half looked okay. 2-minute warning hit, they went straight left. And then the fourth quarter hit, and they kind of brought it back. And that's kind of what I thought was going to happen, because that Dolphins secondary, you undershot it. But Byron Jones had a pick. Xavier Howard had a pick. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm missing someone. But yeah, this defense is good, man. Their pass rush is good. I think Patrick Mahomes threw 3 picks, and he got sacked a couple times. He had the 30th yard. Was it 30-yard sack?
Yeah, 30 yards.
Something around those lines. But he's been playing. That defense has been playing pretty good ball. And I mean, just a little thing. I mean, they've only allowed 21 points or fewer in nine out of the 13 games this season. So keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've been playing pretty good teams. So
And they're still. I mean, of course they're still in, but I think they're. What seed are they? Fifth.
six. They're six. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then we mentioned Tua Tagovailoa is playing pretty good ball. He's a game manager right now. You know, he's just conservative. Right now he reads 9 touchdowns and a pick. Best ratio for a rookie in NFL history. Just threw it out there. But when you look at maybe like a Cam Newton, a lot of people thought he should sign everywhere, and I have been one of the ones that said no. I just don't think he's that talented. I thought the same when he was in Auburn. He's one of 3 quarterbacks with 10 plus interceptions on fewer than 350 pass attempts. So the guy makes mistakes. Yeah. You know,
it's well known.
If I asked you who do you think the other 2 quarterbacks are, would you think you could get it?
I think so. Well, what? Wait for what?
With a similar thing, 10 plus interceptions 10 plus on fewer than 350 pass attempts.
I think. We'll go. Drew Lock was one of them.
Drew Lock.
And Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins, man.
Nick Mullins.
Yeah, man. And you see the issues that offense has when you notice. I don't know if people know that, but the wide receivers for the Patriots only 4 touchdowns out of this year.
Wide receiver only 4, all of them combined.
All of them combined.
Bam, that's a stat.
Their record, like their lowest, team record is 6. So they got 3 games to go to maybe push that up a little bit.
Just if you're a Patriots fan, you're feeling it. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel to be a regular NFL fan? Have a bad season.
How do you see this game playing out, Dave?
I still have Miami over, even though it's gonna be tougher for Tua and that offense to get stuff going. But like you said, I think that Patriots offense needs work too. And against a dog of a defense in Miami. You know what? You sold me. I'm on the ship.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think Dolphins win it by 2 TDs.
Just a little. The last matchup was earlier in the year. The Patriots won 21-11. So I mean, this will help for the tiebreaker if it ever needs to, and their divisional record goes up a little bit. And yeah, I mean 9-5 wouldn't be so bad right now. You know, maybe go 11-5 for the rest of the season. Who knows? The next few games are gonna be easy or so-called easy for the Dolphins. I have the Dolphins winning. If I had to throw a score, maybe 28-17. I think it's gonna be a good game. The score is gonna say it's a little closer than it really is, but in reality it's not.
Yeah.
And obviously we're here. Kansas City, New Orleans, the big matchup everyone's been waiting for the last few weeks. I feel
some people say, and some people would say, the Super Bowl matchup.
I picked them. I picked that Super Bowl matchup.
You did?
I did. I think so because well, at least when it started.
And you have your boy coming back, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I'll be honest. Cause I look at it like this. Kansas City is a juggernaut of a team. Everyone knows that. They've been playing out of their mind, and the main thing is, can they keep the gas? I mean, can they keep their foot on the pedal and keep just flooring everyone? And yeah, they can. They can. Yeah, you saw it against the Dolphins. You saw what they can do offensively, defensively, special teams, all around. The coaching mismatches that it is with Andy Reid and everyone else is kind of it's very apparent. But what makes this matchup interesting for me is it's Sean Payton versus Andy Reid. They both came out of the same coaching tree.
Oh.
Bill Parcells, I think. No, well, Bill Parcells was for Sean Payton, and I think Sean Payton was at Green Bay when Andy Reid was in that coaching, that little coaching carousel, as they like to call it.
What was he coaching? Because I know Andy Reid had QBs.
I think he was like maybe like wide receivers, something like that. He was somewhere around those lines, man. But yeah, I mean, this team's gonna be. I mean, this game is gonna be good. As I look at it, Drew Brees is coming in.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill against the Eagles, he played mediocre. I would say that. I would also say that game reminded me of the Vikings game in the divisional where the Minneapolis Miracle happened. The team started off slow and they got the ship rolling second half. I mean, you can't do that against the Chiefs. The Chiefs, like we mentioned, I mean, foot on the gas, they'll put up 21 points like nothing. Patrick Mahomes against the top scoring defense, 8-0.
Wow.
So, and you see it, and the guy is accurate. Because he's from Texas Tech. Shout out Texas Tech, right?
Yeah. Just 'cause he's from Texas Tech.
It is what it is, right? One key thing to point out, we've mentioned throughout all these podcasts of this season, is phonies.
Yep.
The Saints are phonies too. They beat the Bucks twice, and that was the only team that's above 500 that they beat all year. So where does that go into this game? I think it's gonna cause them a lot of issues as far as who's gonna cover Tyreek Hill. You think Marshawn? And I know Marshawn said that they ain't shit. Yeah. Marshawn said the Chiefs ain't shit. The Saints are the Saints, and I'm rolling, right? I'm a Saints fan. I love to hear that, but understanding that Tyreek Hill has a different type of burst of speed, that's what it is, And Marshawn Lattimore is a quick guy, but you've seen him get burnt by Mike Evans or stuff like that. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's gonna have a big issue against Nikhil Hartman. And also even Sammy Watkins with Janoris Jenkins. Now, I would say the Saints have the best corners to handle that. But even then, you're talking. That's a tall order to even handle like a Tyreek Hill. Now, Demario Davis against Travis Kelce. That matchup's going to be interesting because to me, Travis Kelce is the best tight end in the league. Mm-hmm. Bar none. Yeah. I think George Kittle he's had good years. But I think Travis Kelce is another level, in my opinion. And Demario Davis is a good coverage guy, but he's not gonna cover. He's not. He's fast, but Travis Kelce again, he has a route ability that is. He's a wide receiver in just a tight end's body. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think the Chiefs are gonna play this game, and again, one of those looks a little closer than it is, but I think they're gonna dominate in some ways. I think the Chiefs are gonna win maybe by 10 points, 15, somewhere around those lines.
Yeah, I kind of had them winning as well.
What do you think about this game? What do you think about the matchups and all that?
I think you pretty much broke it down pretty well. I think the Chiefs receiving core is a little too much for that for them to handle the Saints.
Watch your mouth.
A little too much for them to handle, but I think they find a way to stay in the game, especially with Drew Brees back. I think a lot of people, especially you, wasn't hating because it was true, but we're really showing Drew Brees. He's really regressed through these past 3 years. I could say, let's say 3 years. 3 years he's really regressed, but I think he could pull something off. I think he could not win the game, but at least make it close. Like you said, that Chiefs defense is kind of underrated. A lot of people kind of like scoff at their defense due to the fact that their offense is as good as it is. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick. I mean, you do scoff at them because you know what it is. I think their numbers were like they're ranked right now 16th, which is middle of the pack. Mm-hmm. I think they could be higher, but it's more of like the teams they play. The Chiefs offense puts them in such a big margin of victory, like where they're up by 20 to 25. These teams are pushing it down the field. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like how the Falcons, where they were just boosting their offensive numbers. It's the same for the defense for the Chiefs. It's deflating, like it's getting deflated because they're playing these teams that are just going for like third and longs or big play abilities that at least they're trying to go for. But this defense is good. I really like it. Breland, former Washington football player team, he's been pretty okay. Honey Badger's been playing out of his mind. Chris Jones is a fucking tank. And we forget about Frank Clark, but Frank Clark's still there.
Frank Clark, yeah. But yeah, I believe their defense is well put, as my partner said. I think but I think Drew Brees just has a little bit in him to make it close, but I don't think they win. I think he spreads the ball enough to make it a good game, because Drew Brees knows how to spread the ball. But yeah, I think they lose by 10 points. I'll go 34-24.
All right.
34-24. You heard it here first.
And then we have like just key things like, so more or less the time period that Drew Brees has been out, Alvin Kamara hasn't been the guy that everyone knows he is, because you got Taysom Hill, you got the runner and a passer. He's had less than 100 scrimmage yards in the last 6 straight games. So just keep that in mind. A key thing as well is they're playing in New Orleans, and the Chiefs have won 10 straight road games. 10 straight. And just to give you a little bit of insight of what we talk about with Taysom Hill and Drew Brees, when we were giving the criticism to Drew, it was more of the first 4 weeks were downright, it was horrible. You saw Drew and he just didn't look good. He was missing open receivers, and in some ways he wasn't even looking down. He was checking it down to Alvin Kamara quick, boom. Like, it wasn't there, or in his mind it wasn't there, so he just threw it on the dump off pass. But with Taysom Hill, they average more or less 24 points a game, 188 yards passing, and let's say $175 rushing, which is good. I mean, it's balanced out. With Drew, they average out maybe a touchdown more, so 30 points per game, 252 yards passing, and 120 yards rushing. You see where the passing gets a little more inflated with Drew. But I also think what made Taysom Hill a little more interesting is the fact that he can run. Drew Brees is a statue, Yeah. He you're not gonna get that ability. It's kind of like with Patrick Mahomes. He has an underrated running, he has that in his arsenal. Yeah. So you don't spy him, but if you try to outrun or try to catch up to a Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Travis Kelce, he could run for 15 yards, 20 yards. Mm-hmm. So that's the X factor for that. Drew Brees is a statue. Now you get the weapon Taysom Hill back, which the Swiss Army knife, but what is that going to do? How are you going to match out blow for blow against this offense that the Chiefs are going to give you? Best in the league, without a doubt. And the Saints rank 14th in their offense, which is not bad. I mean, it's, again, middle of the pack. Their defense is second. Yeah. Their rush defense is top 5. No, top 5. Oh, they're top 5. Watch your mouth. They're top 5, and the rushing offense is top 10. So it's gonna be an interesting way it goes. But like we mentioned, both of us agree the Chiefs are gonna win, and not handily for Dave, but I think it's gonna be semi-handily. Like, it's gonna look tough. I'll be honest. Yeah. I think the Chiefs might even just slaughter them. It's not for the defense's fault. It's just the lack of offensive movement from the Saints. Correct. Man, just to throw it out there. Over the last most by any.
So yeah.
Any final thoughts on that?
No, I think we pretty much.
But again, we every episode. Y'all have anything to say about our predictions?
Yeah, call us out.
Call us out on the. Talk to us about it. Thank you for the followers, like the page. Appreciate it so much. Subscribe to 200. Hopefully, get more subscribers to the more content. And we were gonna throw in a little UFC the last card.
Yeah.
One of the biggest cards. Have 30 fighters. No, not 2 fights dropped. So, still a big card. They have like 13 fights. And if y'all like these, let us know. We'll talk. Hear about Yoel Romero's Bellator?
Mm-hmm.
Rumble?
Yep.
Here they might fight? Both of them? 205?
That 205? Oh, that's gonna be a.
Suppose.
I don't know if it's gonna. Well, I mean, I think it's kind of, it's gonna be pretty good because Yo Romero, he does that. He does kind of. I call it. I don't know what the correct term is, but I call it the peekaboo offense. You know, he's kind of like, he's like very he's very stationary in his fights. In his last three, I think the only one where he got pushed, the one where he started moving around a little bit was the Costa fight when he fought Paulo Costa. Um, but the fights before that, I think Robert Whitaker, and when he fought the champion Israel, he was very stationary. He's kind of he savors his energy up until, like, you know, he has to punch. You know, I don't know. He's not very movement. He's not very how can I say? What's that word? What's that word I'm looking for?
He's out here not giving you kinetic energy.
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way.
No, yeah. Well, he's not really moving around like how he used to, and I think it's a perfect fight for Rumble Johnson if it's true. If it does come into fruition, I think Rumble Johnson. You know, he hasn't fought in what when did he retire?
I think it was like
Or
2 years,
retire.
3 years ago. It's been a minute, man.
Yeah, since Daniel Cormier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a good fight for him because, you know, shake off that octagon rust, and yeah, I think that would be a dog fight though.
I don't think it got me when I was saying everything else, so I'm just gonna re-say it. Yeah, like, subscribe, like, YouTube, and also comment down below on everything. Post on the page, like our page, strive for 200 followers on that. We appreciate it. Cause I don't think it got.
You don't think it caught?
No. So,
I was just doing this for no reason.
Yeah, I'm sure it got you. I don't think it got me.
Yeah.
So I just had to put that out there. But yeah, I mean that could be a good fight, and it's gonna be that's gonna be a banger if it happens. Cause Rumble don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's good. Yoel, like you said, he's a stationary fighter. A lot of people don't like it because of how he ended with Adesanya. You know, that was a boring fight.
Yeah.
But
Can you guess how many punches total?
was it under 30? No.
Yeah, it was like I think in the last round alone, I think it was like eight strikes combined.
Nice.
Nice.
But let's get into the UFC. Obviously, the fight card is pretty much, it was supposed to be revolved around Leon Edwards and Hamza Chimaev, but both got COVID, or one got COVID, or either got COVID. I don't know who got COVID, because I think both of them had COVID at one point. I just don't know who. So they made up I think they made this one already beforehand, and because it was Wonderboy wanted Chimaev, but that couldn't be set up, so I think they threw in Wonderboy, and Geoff Neal signed up. So that's the headliner, which is Geoff Neal versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, which is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
That one's gonna be awesome.
I've been waiting for Wonderboy to get back in there.
I've been waiting for Geoff Neal. Geoff Neal's a dog. And that one's gonna be a great match. You got Jose Aldo coming back. He's last fight was tough loss versus Petr Yan. That was a good one against Cheeto Vera. Cheeto Vera's the one that broke down the man known as what's his name? Sugar Sean O'Malley. Yeah. And then you got Michael Pereira, Brazilian killer, versus another killer, Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams looked pretty good in his last few fights. And yeah, I mean, and because you look at this damn card, and the card's crazy, because to think Marlon Moraes is the 4th fight and he's ranked 3rd.
Yeah.
He's ranked.
No, honestly, I think he's the true champion to bantamweight. If you think, after post Henry Cejudo, I think he's rightful deserving of that bantamweight champion. He should have at least been put in that championship fight. I understand why he wasn't, but I mean, I think he's the true bantamweight champ. He has a skill set. He has everything. He can do it.
I disagree, but
You disagree?
I disagree.
Why? Who do you think?
Well, I mean, what's his name, man? Funky. What's his name? Funkmaster.
Yeah.
What's his name though?
Aljamain Sterling.
Aljamain. I think Aljamain is the true champ.
I mean, he got knocked out.
Well, by Marlon, but Marlon got knocked out by Corey, and Corey got choked out by Aljamain.
Yeah.
It's
this big circle, but I think Marlon is. I think he's a true champion just because of his journey and stuff. But I think if they fight again, I think Aljo takes it.
I agree. Did you hear they just announced Corey Sandhagen versus Frankie Edgar?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna be an interesting, and it's a co-main, and he wanted TJ Dillashaw, so I wonder why they didn't give it to him. But yeah, so Mario Moraes fights Rob Font. You got Jillian Robertson versus Tyler Santos, and then to start the main card is Greg Hardy. He's back against Marcin Tibero. But obviously one of the more interesting prelims is Anthony Pettis versus Alex Morano. Anthony Pettis last fight against Cowboy Cerrone, he won. Everyone thought Cowboy won, but that's not here nor there. But yeah, I mean, this card's crazy. This card is stacked, and you look at that main card, you really don't want to miss any fight, to be honest, because I think like obviously the showcase is gonna be Geoff Neal. If Geoff Neal gets past Wonderboy, Geoff Neal is elite. If Wonderboy wins, Wonderboy is still he's back on the grind. He's what, ranked top 4?
Yeah, top 4 is right.
And Geoff Neal's like 12 or 11 or somewhere around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting match. Cheeto Vera, like we mentioned, he's a killer. He's fighting against, a depleted Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo looked good against Peter Yan for a couple rounds, and then he got smoked. Yeah. So, and Martin Vera, Cheeto Vera, I should say, what's his name? But Cheeto Vera, I think he has that kind of that reckless abandon that kind of Peter Yan had, where Peter Yan played it really strategically, but I feel like they both have that assassin type mentality, like let's kill now type of thing. Yeah. And I think that's what he has. And Chaos Williams, like we mentioned, he dresses cool for his post fights, and he's a killer. Yeah. What other than the main fight? Which one are you most anticipating?
Most anticipating? I think it's one of them. Well, just because of I'll probably have to go co-main, but I really like that bantamweight fight. Just because I want to see Marlon fight again, man. I really love the way he fights. It's very strategic. He's very accurate. I think he's one of the most accurate bantamweights, if not all time, but in recent 5 years. And Peter Yan is number 1, but he's up there. But man, I really would like to see Marlon get back in there. I think that's my top pick.
I'm gonna give you the Greg Hardy and Marcin Tibero, because I think if Greg Hardy wins, he's gonna get. I don't know if he's already in the rankings. I'm not sure, but if he wins, I feel like you put him in a big fight. Yeah. I feel like you have to at this point, because he's been getting better and better and better and better. And you look at him, and he looks like he wants to fight.
Yeah. The only thing with him is that how much is in the gas tank? I mean, we saw his last fight.
It's heavyweights. I mean, what do you really expect? Yeah. You can't, at this rate, you don't really expect the gas tank, because it's like how they say, when you're when is that at the apex, right? Mm-hmm. At the apex, it's a smaller cage, so you're holding your breath, because every time they throw it feels like it's a knockout blow. And I think it doesn't matter at this point, which it should, but in reality it doesn't. But Greg Hardy, I think he'll slim down a little bit more, tighten up the core, and he'll be good for a 3 round. And I think maybe in 1 to 2 fights he'll be hosting a card. I think, at least, I don't know. But let us know what y'all think about the card. Let us know what you thought about our predictions. Dave, what do you wanna finish off with this podcast? What do you want to say to the world?
Oh, I don't know. Keep following us, man. There's a lot of content that we're thinking about doing. I think don't hold us to this, but I want to see those vlogs, dude. Uh, yeah, but yeah, we're thinking about doing a lot of stuff. As you saw, prior episodes, we're trying something new. We're like, but we're having fun. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, and I mean, the world needs to know. I mean, it's COVID season still,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's not as simple as like, hey, let's come
Let's
through.
go and
Yeah, I mean that's why we're wearing a mask. We had to
yeah.
find an agreement to do all that. And I mean, I sprayed down everything. Has the sanitizer on deck. Is that enough? Who knows? But it makes the content better because, in ways, Zoom it just sounds worse. And
Yeah.
I think when you do this, it's a little bit easier and better, and it sounds a little more clearer. And I think it honestly helps you or helps us even get better
Yeah.
as podcasters. Um,
And I like it too because like I could actually like visualize like talking to you guys. I can't like I know sometimes I look down and stuff, but that's just how I talk. I don't know, but I like we said, this is our first trial run doing something like this. Like we've been wanting to do this for a while, but due to COVID, due to all this stuff, of course we want to keep each other safe. Um but yeah, expect more. Now I don't know about like this. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but like said, we're just tired of Zoom because like we would go back to the playbacks or like we would just play back the episode and it sounded so muzzy and like it even the video because we would record in the video like it just looks it's horrible to the eye. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just
I hate the delays.
yeah, dude, I hated that too. Like, and but yeah, we just want to do this.
Yeah, it helps us talk. I mean,
Yeah.
it helps us just know how to like communicate amongst me and him, and I mean our guest as well. Whenever we get the guest in check for here, um, I mean this we got. I mean we could record for whatever. I know we like to keep these nice and tight for an hour and change, but I mean just a little insight. I mean we try to make everything simple to the world because honestly the people that do podcasts and the major corporations have better equipment and shit like that and we a bunch of brokies that like to talk sports and all that, but like when I'm doing all these things and trying to set up for us to look good, for Dave to look fresh, I mean it's little things. So I mean the little area we have is it does what it does, I mean, like I have a monitor here, I have a little lamp here, I have something there, and I couldn't really properly use it because of COVID, because of the fact is Dave's not here, why am I gonna spotlight just for two people when it's just me, so I had to use it, but it kind of sucks, and I want to practice on how to make our voice sound better, his sound better, all that, and we're gonna get to that hopefully soon. Hopefully for next year we'll be balling and look, and we'll have great content. But I think we would really appreciate if y'all would really let us know what y'all think about.
Feedback.
Yeah, because we about it. We're not little girls. We'll take the criticism and all that. But Dave, do you wanna give him a little song for the people?
You know what I was listening to? I was listening to it on the way over here. Tribe Called Quest. Yeah. Oh, can I kick it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Give me a sec. I'm gonna set this
yeah.
up. But if you want, we could wave them out and we'll play the music with the, like we'll put the music after we put the little scene.
Yeah.
So, guys, Nothing Less Podcast, episode 24. I'm Lex.
Dave.
We'll catch you on the flip.
Peace.
There you go. That was a Tribe Called Quest. Can I Kick It? Off, I think, it's Midnight Marauder album. I'm not sure. But this is a Tupac because I'm wearing a Tupac shirt. I'm gonna put "Picture Me Rollin'" off his I forget what mixtape. I think this is a greatest hit. So.